The union has made it so much easier, made it so much more productive and so much more grounded. If you definitely want to provide for your family like I do in this trade, being a construction union diver, it's been very rewarding and satisfying. I specialize in marine construction. It's pile driving, welding, wharf, dock repair, port maintenance, offshore oil, ship maintenance, basically anything pertaining to the water on or around it. Pounding nails underwater, building forms underwater, concrete work underwater, really maintaining all the piling, all the wood structures, steel structures, concrete structures, saltwater. Boats sink and need to be recovered. They need to be salvaged. We have a lot of floating equipment, barges, cranes, things of that nature that has to all be tested, made ready. We have dive equipment. Obviously, it's life support equipment that can support working, underwater. When SpaceX started ramping up and getting going here on the West Coast and started landing their rockets, initially they started by crash landing them on the water. So I did some SpaceX rocket recovery, flew into Alaska for an emergency job. One of the European ships got stuck in the Beaufort Sea, which is basically the north slope of Alaska. Did some diving down about 150 feet of water, had to do some cutting of some cable and some steel chain and free up that European ship. Did some work down in the Gulf of Mexico, clean up from Katrina, the hurricanes and storms there, so that's a few. As far as gear goes, equipment, suits, there's a suit that you put on called a dry suit that actually keeps you dry. You wear undergarments underneath to dive in cold water. And then extreme conditions, working in Alaska, up on the northern East Coast, you wear a hot water suit, actually, which is a suit that you put on and it pumps hot water down to you. And so you can work in those Arctic environments. Chainsaws, drills, grinders, down to just hand tools, hammers, tape measures. Electricity obviously doesn't work so well with water. So we use a lot of air-powered tools. We use a lot of hydraulic-powered tools that are super strong and can work in very harsh environments. The best advice I would give to a young person wanting to get into a specialized trade with the union would be to do it sooner than later. It's very important to continue training. If you want to be a well-rounded specialist, like a welder, a wharf and dock builder, a carpenter that builds forms, does concrete, does steel work, all with and during diving operations, that's when you would want to be, in the Carpenters Union. So you're very multi-faceted, if you will, and well-rounded, as opposed to just only being able to dive.